This video made possible by Killer Visual Strategies. Visit killervisualstrategies.com. How many inventors do we have in the room right now?
1, 2. How many people have thought about inventing something someday, maybe? Anyone? Few hands.
Okay, so our next four guests are already ahead of us, but that's part of why the session is one of our favorites and has been part of the summit for the past 6 years. Here's how it's going to work. I'm louder. Each inventor will have 45 seconds to present their invention, and then we'll ask them questions. We've got a live poll going in the app, so as you listen, keep in mind which invention is your favorite, and cast your vote.
Okay, first up, Atomo Coffee. This startup claims to have hacked your morning cup of coffee by removing the bean from the equation altogether. Co-founder and CEO Andy Kleitsch is pouring us a drink, and he's going to tell us how and why anyone would dare mess with coffee in Seattle.
Why would you? Right. Why would you mess with a good thing, right? So, can you all hear me? No. Mike, there it is. Okay. So my name is Andy Kleitsch. Thanks for having me here. Yeah, you are about ready to drink the most expensive cup of coffee you've ever had in your life, actually. There's not many of them out there. So these are two cold brews that we have today. We have an almond milk cold brew and a regular coffee cold brew. But is it coffee? All right, it is coffee without the bean. And so what that means is we actually looked at the bean and we reverse engineered coffee. We looked at all the chemical compounds in coffee and said, how can we recreate the aroma, the body, the mouthfeel, the color, the bioactives, which are caffeine. And we went and started sourcing these materials from naturally derived ingredients, and we got in my co-founder's garage and spent months in his garage, like blending things together. And then one day we looked at each other and said, this is actually gonna happen, like we're gonna do this. And so we launched a Kickstarter campaign, and we raised some money, and then we had some venture capitalists reaching out to us, and we raised a seed round of $2.6 million. And now we have a lab down at Pike Place Market, and we're making coffee without the bean. And what you tasted right here is some of our very first prototypes of our cold brew.
It's tasty coffee. That is a good cup
Right
of coffee.
on. All right. All right. We're going to do it.
I mean, that's a mocha, so that's flavored by nature.
Mm-hmm.
Andy, why no bean?
Okay, so beans, I wanted to do a startup, but I really wanted to do something that was better for the environment, better for the world. But I had no good ideas. Right? And in fact, I think a lot of entrepreneurs out there might you find yourself in this situation every now and then where you're like, I want to do something, but I don't really know what to do. So I started asking my friends, like, what are your ideas? And my co-founder, he says, I really want to make coffee without the bean. And then I had that same question, like, well, why would you want to do that? And started doing research and found out that half of all coffee plantations will no longer support the growth of coffee over the next 30 years. And so what that means is that they go uphill. It's called up farming. And so what is really happening is the coffee that we drink every morning is leading to further deforestation. And so we thought there's got to be a way to actually make a really great cup of coffee that is also better for the environment.
So these are cold brew. What are other ways that you're going to be able to drink?
We are going to, so however you drink your coffee is how we want to supply it. We want to supply it in that same ritual. So a lot of people out there do grounds, like you do a pour over or you make a brewed coffee. So we're actually going to create grounds. It's a ground material that looks just like coffee. You use it scoop for scoop, just like you would for coffee, but it's not coffee. And then we're also making coffee beans. So like for those baristas out there, so they can grind the coffee bean and then use it to pull espresso shots. And then we're doing this ready to drink beverage.
Are you going to hack the barista too?
We like baristas. We don't want to hack the baristas. They're good for the environment.
So what's in it?
Right. Well, I mean, we have to look at each kind of what we call the big five, which is the aroma, the body, the color, the bioactives, the mouthfeel. So each one of those has compounds that contribute to it. So you can take caffeine is a great one. Everyone says, does it have caffeine in it? And of course it has caffeine in it. We're going to say, does it have caffeine? And other stupid questions. Like, of course coffee has caffeine in it. But what it is there's 60 different plants that have caffeine in them. So rather than sourcing it from coffee, which is in trouble, why not just pick a really sustainable, supplier of caffeine?
How soon can we expect to see this on the shelves?
So we are going to have coffee in market in 2020. So right now we're just really finalizing our formula for our first product, and so we will be having this on store shelves in next year.
If there was a large coffee company in town. I can't think of any.
Right. Yeah.
What would you say to them about the future of coffee?
Well, they are already, companies like that are calling us. And they're saying, when can we try it? When can we taste it?
Okay.
And I think what they know, like the coffee industry as a whole has known about this problem, about climate change and about how it's affecting coffee. So they're well aware of this kind of impending change to the whole industry. And what they're also seeing, though, is I think consumers are now more concerned about sustainable options. And so what they're really, I think the reason why they're coming to us is the consumers are really going to them saying, we want to make sustainable choices, and sustainability plays a big role in how we decide on what products we purchase. And so now they're coming to us saying, so what do you have that's sustainable?
Wonderful. Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Glad you
Tasted
glad you
great.
like it.
We'll hope. We're going to finish that?
Yeah.
Just one more sip. All right. Next up, we have Extentek, creators of the Galena, a device to help visually impaired people pour any substance into a container without overpouring. Let's welcome to the stage 7th grade inventor and CEO Nir Pichuk.
Hello.
Hi, Nir.
So tell us, what is Galena all about?
So I'm Nir Pichuk. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Extentek, and I'm really excited to be here in this event. So how many of you have ever poured boiling water into a cup? Pretty much everyone. Pretty simple, right? What about with your eyes closed? Not that straightforward. You don't know when to stop pouring, so there's a high chance that you either overpour and burn your fingers or that you don't pour enough. What if I told you that there are over 280 million blind and visually impaired people in the world that face this same problem every day? One of these people being my grandma. Pretty bad. But what if I also told you that I have a solution? Extentek offers a contactless material level indication device named Galena after my grandma. Here's how it works. You turn it on, it beeps to show that it's ready to use, and then you start pouring. When the substance reaches a predefined level from the top, it starts beeping. As simple as that, it's totally contactless and no cleaning is involved. You're welcome to look.
So how long have you been working on this product?
It all started about 2 years ago. I was at my grandma's house and she asked me to pour a cup of tea for her. And she explained that she has night blindness, I knew that. But she explained that when I'm not there, she has difficulty pouring tea for herself, sometimes coffee, because she can't use her finger because her finger will get burned. And speaking of that, when I visited Sight Connection, a center for people who are blind, one woman there said that she couldn't even feel her finger anymore from how many times she's burned it.
This is awesome. You're a young kid. What are you, 12? 12 years old? 7th grade? And I have a 12-year-old 7th grader. I'm going to tell you, if I could get him away from the Xbox to pay attention to me, much less his grandmother, then we'd be onto something. I would invent empathy, I guess. This is cool. And how long, what was the initial iteration to this product here?
So right after the incident with my grandma, I went home, I got some Lego parts from around my house, I got an EV3 gigantic computer block, and I built a Lego prototype just for my grandma. It didn't really work that well, but it was a temporary solution. And then as time moved on with my robotics team, we evolved it into something of about this size. It worked a little less often, and then it just stopped. I gave it to my grandma, nothing else happened. And it stayed like that until the next summer. I was going to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for this Take Action workshop, one week long camp. And that's where I was inspired that even a child can make a difference. Even a kid like me could help all 280 million people around the world.
So how, if you know someone blind or who's visually impaired that this would make a big difference for, how can they get one?
Right now, there's multiple ways to get one. First of all, they could go to an organization for the blind, which is our primary customer, and they buy in bulk, or they could buy it from them. Or they could go onto our website and pre-order, and we're gonna start giving those out soon, the pre-orders.
And the price on such a device?
Right now it's $13.99, but the price is going down as we manufacture more, and there's up to a 50% discount, I think, for nonprofits and bulk orders.
So in addition to creating, fine-tuning the device, what has been kind of the biggest challenge you face in creating the business?
There's multiple challenges, 2 main challenges. The first challenge was getting started. Not a lot of people that are kids do things like this. And that connects to the second challenge because there's a lot of bias. Like people look at me and they're like, oh, it's probably not serious. It's serious. And
We seriously appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Neer.
thank you.
Good luck.
What's next, Kurt?
Okay, our third invention today is Nanodropper. It's a device that helps people taking eye medication cut down on waste and save money. And please welcome co-founder Mackenzie Andrews.
Yeah, hi. I don't know if I want to follow that up. Oh my goodness, that was so inspiring. But here we go anyway. So we've all used eye drops at some point, right? You tilt back your head, put in the drop, and that little bit always trickles down your cheek. Well, that's actually because those drops are 5 times too big for the human eye. And with medications costing up to $500 per bottle, this waste is contributing to the significant financial barrier to care faced by millions of people across the country. Our solution is a Nanodropper. It's an FDA-listed eye drop bottle adapter that reduces the drops to something your eye can actually absorb. So while our drops are small, our vision is big, and we are thrilled to announce that by February, we will be available in eye care clinics across North America. Thank you.
Somebody's been watching Elevator Pitch. That was good.
Thank you.
So this came out of the University of Washington. Can you explain a little of the background on why you went this route and what your team was focused on, perhaps other than this or solely this?
Absolutely. So an article came out. It was an NPR ProPublica article that came out almost exactly 2 years ago, October of 2017. Our now CEO, Alyssa, ended up reading that article and was really inspired. It was detailing this problem and was inspired to develop a solution. She worked in a research lab with myself and one of our other co-founders, Jenny. Research lab has nothing to do with eye drops, it's neuroscience research, but we are all just really inspired to solve this problem together. So we got the 3 of us together, and then Alyssa's business and life partner, her fiance, is also a mechanical engineer, and we came together and just started working on developing a solution.
How did you know when you found the solution?
So really going into it, we knew what we had to do. Previous attempts to make these drops smaller, redesign the bottle itself, and try to market that to the drug manufacturers. Those haven't gotten off the ground. And so we knew we needed to make a product that was available to the end user. And so we knew it had to make the drop smaller, so it had to fit over the tip of the bottle, make a smaller diameter opening. It needs to be secured to the bottle somehow and come with a cap to reduce contamination. So we really knew what the parameters were that we were working around, and then we just started developing something that our target population, elderly people that are going blind, would have no problem using. So that's why we came up with kind of a funny shape that's easy to grab and easy to use.
So it's aimed at a specific audience who is spending a specific amount of money on, not the weekend warrior who's headed into a meeting with bloodshot eyes.
Right.
It's
What are you telling us, Kurt?
I know, we're all like wiping our eyes now.
but like you wouldn't screw that on your Visine. I mean, is there, what is it, glaucoma medication?
Yeah, so the big one is glaucoma medications, also chronic dry eye. These are, especially glaucoma, is a progressive disease, and if you don't adhere to your treatments, you will go blind. It's a kind of the end goal for glaucoma patients is to have partial vision in one of their eyes at the end of life. So it's really for those patients that have difficulty affording those treatments so they can adhere to their treatment plans and maintain their vision.
So once this is available in eye care centers, how much will it be?
Yeah, so initially we're looking at probably around $20. It is a sterile medical device, so that kind of bumps up the premium a little bit. But our target price point is $12.99 because we're really trying to keep it low for those patients that already have all of these other financial troubles with affording their medications.
Any other future goals now that you have your launch on the horizon?
Yeah, I mean, we really just want to get this out to as many people as we can. We went into this for the patient, and that is always at the forefront of our mission. So we want to expand to as many countries as we can, and we're also looking at global health efforts, so trying to get this into low-resource settings so that people that don't even have access to these medications, it might become a feasible opportunity to get those medications into those settings.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I did see Bill Gates. He was out eating, so go find him.
Okay,
I
sounds
know
good.
he runs a few programs around World Health. Thank you, Mackenzie.
Yeah, thank you so
awesome
much.
Job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mackenzie.
Thanks.
All right, next we have Critterblock, a pet door with an AI-inspired twist. Here's cat lover Ben Ham to explain what this contraption is all about.
Right.
Winner of the biggest invention today.
You need me to hold that, Ben?
Yep,
Make
no, it's
sure.
fine. It's
Okay.
stable. Thanks for having me. There are 12 million indoor-outdoor cats in the United States, and one of them lives at my house. His name is Metric, and he is adorable, and he's also, as you can see, a serial killer. He was bringing in dead or dying animals once every 10 nights, and it got so bad that I learned to code, learned to solder, and hand-labeled 23,000 images to stop him. This is the end product of that effort. This is a cat door that uses computer vision to lock itself when my cat is trying to bring in a critter. It's obviously super early stage, but it is effective. It can stop my cat 85% of the time he's trying to bring in prey, and it unfairly locks him out less than 1% of the time he's coming in normally. The whole thing is powered by the AWS Deep Lens camera, which is very nifty because it can run machine learning models on the device in less than 100 milliseconds. And I built the models using SageMaker, Amazon SageMaker, which makes computer vision super approachable for newbie coders like me. I want to thank Jacob Nelson, who's an engineer who's here today, who advised me in this project. And I also have to thank Metric, who tortured me until I invented something. So thank you, Metric.
Whoa. I write headlines for a living, and I'll probably have to write this story. And I think meow is a well-used cat.
So many puns.
Ben, what's going on at your house right now? Did this come off of your house?
This came off my house, yes. I don't have another prototype, so my house is undefended at the moment. So I don't know
You're
what
gonna
he's
have a lot
doing.
of treats when you get home.
Yeah.
How many man hours, how much cat hours are invested in Critterblock?
Well, I mean, I worked on it. I started working on it about a year ago. I only got it working in May. I had to learn Python to do this. I had to learn Arduino to do this. So there was a lot of learning hours. Labeling all by itself took about 10 hours, I'd say, just labeling images that I'd gathered. So yeah, it was pretty intensive.
Did you look around and see if there might be any other, more approachable options?
Yeah, if I could keep a collar on him, I would have done that. There are anti-hunting collars with bells or frilly colors, but I can't keep a collar on him, so that's not an option for me. I could just lock him in all the time too, but I didn't want to do that.
This is the ultimate compromise then.
This is an extensive
So
compromise.
tell us, the wins are fun and amazing. The cat gets locked out, but tell us about some of the fails and where the cat gets in with a dead rodent. What's that like?
Well, the dead rodent isn't the worst part. It's when they're not dead. And they're badly wounded, and I have to euthanize a small animal at 3 in the morning and then try to go back to sleep. So if you want to know the sort of desperation you need to invent something like this, that's
So this is a sleep aid.
It's a sleep aid, yeah. I can sleep through the night. It's great.
So you mentioned you have a 80% success rate. Are
Yeah.
you still trying to work on that and improve that?
Yeah, it saves images every time he's approaching. So if it's wrong, I just get more data and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So yeah, it's going to go up.
So are you kind of in set it and forget it mode, or are you still tinkering?
Well, since this went a little viral, I've heard from desperate cat owners all over the world. So Jacob and I have teamed up, and we're expanding this little science experiment to there's now 4 cats being watched by deep lens cameras. And our goal is to maybe make a universal model that can stop cats without any training.
What's the biggest hurdle in accomplishing that?
Oh, just the number of different environments. My cat comes up a ramp that's a very controlled approach, and so there's not a lot of diversity in those images. But you get out into lots of different people's cat doors, and there's a lot of different kinds of images. There's glare, lighting conditions, lots of things to deal with. So, yeah.
This is amazing. My number one concern with my cat is keep it off the couch from scratching, feed it, and that's about the end of the list. It's an indoor cat. You've got a lot going on with Metric and pure hunter mentality that cat is exhibiting. So Ben, thanks very much, and round of applause for Ben.
Nice.
And Metric.
Careful.
Should have
All
made
right,
this
so
lighter.
4 impressive inventors, innovating, solving problems across a variety of disciplines, in health, in food, in felines. So give it up once again for Atomo Coffee, Extentek, Nanodropper, and Critterblock.
And remember to cast your vote. Which invention do you love? And we're going to look at those in a minute here. But Kurt, what surprised you most today?
This is us conferring.
What do you think? What do you think?
Well, I think that, the cat, what do you got? Don't watch us. This is secret. No. The cat thing is near and dear to my heart. And I can only imagine the disruption in Ben's sleep cycle with a half-wounded rodent running around the house. So
I'm going to choose not to imagine that.
I'm a coffee drinker, like probably lots of people in this room. I think Andy's onto something really cool with a sustainability-focused answer to coffee consumption and farming, and it was tasty.
Yeah, that was really impressive and kind of really reimagining coffee. I think could be daunting. With Nanodropper and Galena, the things I love is the simplicity and the direct application. They're both in a really good price point, so I can see a lot of people accessing these products soon. So I think kind of the simple solutions can be really exciting too.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture Near, who I was joking with about my own son, but imagine going from, Grandma, let me just pour that for you so you don't hurt yourself, to I'm going to make something so you don't hurt yourself. And that's what this is all about, right? Innovation and solving problems.
Yeah. So let's see, do we have those live poll results ready? Galena is a crowd favorite today. Congratulations, Near. And let's give a round of applause for all of our inventions.
Thanks, you guys.